Hello babes, welcome back to the channel. If you are new, welcome. So in today's video we are going to be deep diving into the character of Miss Eva from one of my favorite 2000s movies, which is Deliver Us from Eva. So let's get into it. If you've never seen the movie Deliver Us from Eva, it is about a young black woman played by the beautiful Gabrielle Union, who is success-driven and has raised her three sisters after their parents passed. She is who her sisters look to for advice and believes that family comes before anything and loves her sisters dearly. However, she is uptight, rude, obnoxious, and doesn't respect her sisters' marriages and their privacy. So the boyfriend and husbands of the sisters decide they need Eva out of their lives and business, and decide to pay $5,000 to play a player from the Himalaya, Ray, in order to get Eva to fall in love with him after a few months, get him to leave town and bring Eva with him, then of course break up with her.
Take her out for a couple of months and not just distract her, but make her fall hard for you.
I can definitely do that, and I love a challenge.
And when you do it, you have to make her fall in love with you. Then you tell her you're leaving town and you get her to go with you. Then you can dump her. Yes! Taking years to relocate.
And we all know these plans never turn out how they expect them to. So I will say Eva wanted the best for her sisters and that the men they were dating were full of red flags. I think she wanted to prevent them from being hurt like she was in her previous relationship because she loved them so much. But she was overbearing, and the way she was able to just interfere in their relationships was not healthy.
Gosh, you're doing it.
How the hell did you get in here?
Jackie gave me a key in case of an emergency.
You did not tell me you wanted to use the room in my house, Eva.
Well, I'm telling you right now, Timothy. And it is half my sister's house, too. Community property. See, because I want Karina to make a good impression on the book club. Don't you?
No.
And caused these men to hate her because she was constantly making remarks or involving herself in their relationships, which just wasn't her place. She felt like she had to still mother her siblings, although they were fully grown adults who could make their own decisions and learn from mistakes on their own. But she couldn't help herself, and the reason for that is what happens when the oldest sibling or sibling in general becomes the responsible one. You're so used to caring, giving, and becoming the authority figure that you don't know when to pull back, and Eva was one of those people. I also believe because she was the eldest to the siblings when they lost their parents, that she didn't get a chance to fully grieve like her other siblings, who had Eva to lean on while she had to become the parent. She was so used to having authority over her sisters' lives that when she got into relationships, she didn't know how to let that bossy, demanding, authoritative spirit go. I think she felt letting go of control would give people access to hurt her, which is why she was so mean. Usually beneath the surface of women and even men like Eva is hurt and resentment, and if that hurt is not dealt with, it just festers and they either hurt people or alienate them completely. And therapy definitely helps. However, you have to do the work on yourself to heal yourself as well. Not just going to therapy, but you actually have to start working and improving in areas of your life in order to heal yourself. So Eva had to put all of her dreams on hold in order to take care of her sisters and make sure they had everything they needed: support, love, as well as financial support. Putting her sisters through school, she worked tirelessly to ensure they had little to nothing to worry about. So I think that she felt she had a right to barge into their lives whenever she wanted, given her unsolicited opinion, and that just wasn't her right. She didn't have a right to barge into their relationships or come in their house unannounced in their bedrooms. I mean, she just had no respect. However, baby, that Mike was not to be trusted at all. The fact that he was invested in their Dandridge fund was weird because you're not a part of their family, and even if you married her sister, this was something that was set up for the sisters, so I'm not understanding why you're so invested. He was a sleazy, slithering,
you slimy, sleazy, sneaky, slithering son of a bitch,
slime ball, and was going harder than the husbands. And I feel like Eva was right about him. And he wasn't trustworthy, and I don't really think he loved her sister to begin with. I think him proposing to her at the end was a way for him to clock in on that money. First off, I don't understand why these men stuck around if they hated her sister so much instead of actually at least attempting to form a relationship with her. Now, we don't get a backstory on how they met or how long they've been with each other, but I do think them not trying to at least form a relationship or get to know her better was a part of the issue. They wanted to get rid of her and didn't care if that would hurt the sisters. I get them wanting to have their quality time with their women and not having someone constantly in their business or influencing their relationship. Like I always say, what goes on in your relationship or marriage is no one's business unless it is something serious and you're ready to leave that relationship. But if it's small, minor things, then that is between you and your partner. And I just don't understand why people just don't know how to not run their mouth like a faucet, aside from relationship things, but personal business as well. Every smiley face is not your friend, and some people love when you're having issues. But anyway, the way these husbands went out of their way to pay a man $5,000 to get Eva out of their hair was ridiculous. And when things began going too good for Ray and Eva, and their women believe they should step it up, then that's when they decide, no, she needs to be hurt and forced to move out of the state because our feelings matter more than the women we're dating and Eva. And I don't understand how they continue to be with these trash bag men. After hearing the plan they came up with, they were not to be trusted. To be willing to do something like this, it's given that they would take a life insurance policy out on their women and have an oopsies but not really and claim the money. Just outright scandalous. Do I think Eva was nice? No, not in the beginning. Do I think Eva overstepped her boundaries? Absolutely. But I feel like a normal person would have a talk with someone or simply leave, because if anyone is coming in between your marriage that heavily, if the person you're with doesn't put their foot down, the behavior will continue. And it doesn't matter who that person is with after you, that behavior will continue. It will never change unless there are boundaries put up, with the person who seems to always be overstepping those boundaries and not knowing their place. Because Eva dedicated so much of herself to her sisters, I feel like they felt guilty about being happy or having their own relationships that didn't include Eva. So any and everything that they did, they just had to include her. I do love how much they loved on one another and spoke positivity into each other, but I feel like how attached they were to Eva wasn't healthy as well. Like when she is offered a job opportunity and she's scared to tell them because she knows it will be an issue. And then the youngest sibling throwing a tantrum as if she isn't a grown married woman about how her sister shouldn't leave and take a job opportunity to advance in her career.
Come on, I mean, it's Deputy Health Inspector of Chicago. It's a great opportunity. Look, I've been looking for a way to tell you guys. So there it is, in a nutshell.
That's great for you.
Yeah, it is.
So you're just gonna up and leave just like that?
No, I have to get the job first. I'll find out in a few weeks.
Oh, I'm sorry. First you get the job. Then if you pack up and leave like a thief in the night, you're just gonna leave us like that?
Jackie,
you're just gonna
not
waste time.
Stop it! If you don't want me to go, Jackie, I won't.
It's not my decision.
It is if you're gonna hate me for it.
Which is the reason why so many people never explore their options or advance, because of family members who hold them back for selfish reasons or due to their own fear of success that they push onto their relatives. I don't think Eva was a bad person. I just think taking on such a heavy load of responsibility at the young age of 18, taking care of 3 young siblings, was a lot. She didn't really have time to enjoy her youth, but instead had to worry about things like bills, taking care of children, working multiple jobs, etc. That's a lot for someone so young to have to deal with, and then suppressing it because she didn't want her sisters to feel as though they were a burden to her and for them to just be happy. I do think Eva was a little jealous that her sisters were in relationships, because she felt like she had put her all into them and had broke up with her boyfriend because he gave her an ultimatum to choose between him or her sisters, and she chose her sisters. And rightfully so, because only the insecure and people with bad intentions will make you choose between them and your loved ones or family. Someone who loves you wouldn't put you in that position. Now, drawing boundaries, yes, but I think Eva wanted to have someone to love her and to go home to as well, but was afraid she would have to choose again. So instead, she caused issues in their relationships so they would continue being codependent with Eva because she had to feel like she was needed. I think Eva felt that if she wasn't needed by her sisters, that somehow they would forget about her and she would be lonely and wouldn't have anyone that cared about her. I think that Eva was so mean and was so involved in her husband and her sister's relationship is because she felt that that was some way she could be involved in their relationships, and that it would keep her sisters reliant on her. They would constantly rely on her and ask her for advice. I don't think she was necessarily being malicious, although she was very annoying and very mean. I do think it came from a place of her feeling like she had nobody to call her own, and that she felt her sisters belonged to her and she didn't want to lose them because she had already lost her parents. So her losing her sisters would probably reopen that wound again. I don't know. I'm not a therapist, but I just feel like that was maybe how she felt when it came to her sisters and the close bond that they built with each other. Also, I want to talk about how we need health inspectors like Eva, because the amount of restaurants that are allowed to stay open and still make money while completely ignoring all health codes, cross-contamination, unclean spaces, rodents running amok. Listen, I believe some of these inspectors are also paid off to give A's to restaurants, because there are some questionable restaurants who have A ratings. And I don't understand how they got them. But Eva was not playing with these restaurants at all. She walked up in there and they already knew they had to tighten up. And with that being said, this video has come to an end. Let me know below what characters you would like for me to do a deep dive on next. And I will catch you guys in the next video. Don't forget to comment, like, share, and subscribe. And make sure your notification bells are turned on so that you always know when I upload. And I will catch you guys in the next video.